Good afternoon, everybody. What's up? It's your boy, Pastor Jay here. Welcome to Kingdom Conversations. It is another day that we are here in the land of the living, and I'm excited. I hope everybody had a great time at church. I hope everybody had a great time with your family doing something that you enjoy doing, because one of the things I'm learning is that you have to take time out for you. You have to take time out to restore, recover, rebuild, and I'm excited about what God is doing for all of us. We're in a great time. There's so much we have to talk about today, and I have one of my favorite preachers, hands down. This guy, I've watched him demolish churches in 12 minutes flat. I don't know how he does it. And he's probably one of the only preachers that got more range than me. I'm a little jealous of his range. I'm listening to his guys preach and sing. I'm like, God, dog. But I am so honored to have him here. He is an author. He is a producer, a bishop in the Lord's church, a pastor, a father, and a friend. And I got to be honest with y'all, he's one of my biggest supporters. So to have him on the show today is amazing. We're going to talk about this corona, this vaccine passport. We're going to talk about some music. Let me bring him to the stage now. And we got somebody else coming in a little bit later. But right now, let me bring my friend and my brother to the stage, Bishop Julius Sloane. Bishop.
All right.
What's going on, my friend?
I'm good, man. How you doing today?
Listen, man, if I had your money, I'd be all right. I'd be all right, man. But Bishop, let me thank you up front, man, for coming and doing the show and being a part of Kingdom Conversations. You, as I said, it's really amazing when the things you say behind somebody's back is what you have said to their face. And it's not a lot of people that have that testimony, but I tell everybody, Bishop Julius Sloane is a problem.
A quick problem.
Let me tell you something. I don't know how you do it, Bishop. I tried it like at my last 2 engagements. It didn't work for me. So I know God has given you a grace for that. And but Bishop, man, what's going on, man? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited about so many things that's happening. But first of all, I'm just glad to be alive with everything that's going on around us. It's just a blessing to be here, really.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you just recently, let's get right to it, man. You just recently released another project, and I have to tell you, out of this world. From the lyrical content to the artwork, the mixing, the mastering, the musicianship, and the guest soloist. Phenomenal.
This is the one.
Let me tell you something. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the project. Shameless plug.
Right.
But, you know, oftentimes independent artists, they spend a lot of money in pre-production and studio time and don't have money left over to get the album mixed right and mastered right. You made sure that this was done. You and Deron made sure that this was done with a meticulous hand. And I take my hats off to you, man, because sonically, I think this is your best work.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And this one, we had, phases that we wanted to run it in because we didn't want to run into that problem like we had on other projects where you complete it, but then you don't have the money for the quality mixing and mastering, and then you only have one leg of marketing. So we wanted to make sure we phase this out. So we'll still be marketing 6 months from now. So that the project can have legs. And so we have that, in the budget and in the plan.
That's good. Because people don't know it takes, especially on the independent side, it takes sometimes 6 months to a year to work a project. You don't have that machine behind you. You got to do it yourself, but it's very doable. Very doable.
Absolutely. And I think people
I commend you, man.
Independent artists get discouraged, after that first big week and they let it be over. But you don't have to let it be over. Keep pushing. Keep pushing.
You know me. I'm a ride it till the wheels fall off.
That's right.
I'm gonna choke it till there's no air left in that joint. I'm going to tell you something. And even though I have radio servicing companies working for me now different things like that. I still service radio myself because me putting out my first independent project was put out in 04.
Right. Mercy.
So there's different radio personalities and program directors that I've developed a personal relationship with over the years that I don't think I need to or should wait for the company to do it because they might not even know about these stations. And you know, I'm still working it, man. Even though God has blessed me to have a company now to do all that, this because I'm still independent, so there's still a lot of work that we got to do, and it's really built on good relationships. And that's even how I ended up on the record because I came to your church unbeknownst that was going to happen, and you know, you just created a moment, and it was crazy.
I think you may be one of the greatest ad-lib person in the country. I mean, your voice is always ready. Like, I got to get ready. I need tea. I need halls. I need breathing exercises. But it seems like you just be ready. When it's time to preach, they pass you. And I think that's that Brooklyn in you. But you just be ready all the time.
You know why? Because that's how Bishop Hill trained me. Right. Bishop Hill used to torture me, like doing stuff like, I remember one time Pastor Kirby Brown was supposed to come preach for us. And it was our men's day. And his flight got stuck or something like that. So Bishop Hill gets up. It's time for the preacher. And he says, you know, the church is jam-packed. This is when we were still on Myrtle Avenue.
Wow.
Church jam-packed. Everybody come to hear Pastor Kirby Brown. He said, you know, Pastor Brown's flight has been delayed. And, you know, he was supposed to preach for us. And he's not going to make it. But there is a word. Hendrickson is going to preach tonight. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, are you out your mind, Bishop? Like, are you kidding me? And that's how, to this day, I mean, I was just at his leadership conference. And right before Bishop Michelle White passed away, she was supposed to come teach a class. And I'm talking about, it was Bishop Michelle White, Bishop Albert Jameson, Bishop Figueroa, and Bishop Walker. You talking about the heavyweights. Right. And Bishop White got sick. And my bishop said, well, Bishop White's supposed to be here, but she's not. Pastor Henderson is going to come teach this class. So that just trained me over the years to always be ready. Because he taught me, he said, if you stay ready, you never got to get ready.
You're ready. That's right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, we were trained like that. But we got the producer in the room. Let's bring him in now, get him involved in the conversation. This is my little brother. I'm so proud of him. Deron Woodside, unmute yourself, man of God.
Yo. What's good, big bro?
What's up, little bro?
What's good, man? Chilling, yo.
Listen, I was just talking to Bishop about how crazy the album is. You did a phenomenal job, brother. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
And you know, I was on the phone first thing. Right after I brought it, I was on the phone texting to him. I was like, bro, this is crazy, man. So,
yep.
So how was it for you guys working together?
Well, it's actually really easy. You know, I've been working with my cousin since I was, 15 years old. Just in ministry and just being by his side. It's really easy when you have somebody that supports you 100%. When you respect, leadership and you respect what it is that each one of you do, there's never no crosshairs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So us coming from musical backgrounds, with our family, I always looked up to him. I always looked up to him and my cousin John Sloane. Those were one of my biggest influences growing up, especially in music. Besides my dad, but these guys were my blueprints. As far as like just watching and wanting to do music like for real,
Now, Bishop, don't you play organ, Bishop Sloane?
Yeah, I play an A flat. If you move, you're on your own.
If you move, you're in trouble.
I'm not in trouble. You're in trouble because
Yeah.
you should have stayed there. You heard me playing it. I was trying to bring you to me.
Now, how long have you been pastoring now, Bishop?
I'm going on 30 years, man.
Man, you look like you 30. What you talking about? 30
Yeah,
years old.
no. I've been pastoring since I was 24, 25 years old.
Wow.
So I started out before a lot of the young pastors over there on MacDougal Street. It was originally Church Without a Spot or Wrinkle.
My God.
Bishop Figueroa and them used to laugh at me when we took over that building because we couldn't afford to change the sign immediately.
Church Without Spot or Wrinkle. My God. So how has it been with you pastoring in the pandemic, man?
Man, well, you know what? I must say that it brought out a lot of creativity. I realized that God had to, get us out to church, to get us into the community, and to build on what a lot of people cursed. They said that the internet and Facebook was a curse, that it was from the devil, but it was people who I heard say that was on the internet.
You better know it.
They were on there, so you have to evolve. If you think about it, the ant and the dinosaur were created around the same time, and the dinosaur is extinct because it didn't evolve, but the ant was able to evolve, and so that's what we had to do during COVID. We had to evolve, and I must say that we have progressed, not as numerically as I would want to at New Day, but my Baptist church has progressed numerically, but creatively, New Day has certainly been evolving,
and that's great. And I look at Deron and the role that he plays in that creative energy that's in the church now. And he used to be my MD for New Sound, so I know how dependable Deron is, and it's great when you as a leader have somebody that you can trust, where you can just give them the assignment and turn away and walk away, and know they're gonna get it done. That's Deron, and because he loves what he does and he takes it very serious, and it shows in his playing, it shows in his production, and what were some of the steps you had to take as a producer, Deron, to get the sound that you got right now?
So I'm going to be honest. I did a lot of scratching my head in the beginning, and just asking God like which way we should go. There are people that I called on that didn't show up, and there was a lot of me talking to Bishop Sloane, getting advice because I was ready,
Deron, he like to talk other ways, y'all, but God is saving him.
That he is. So there was a lot of me talking to Bishop, and Bishop, counseling me, or Doc, you just try another way. Just try another way. That may not work. That person may not be the person. You know what I'm saying? But I think the second week into rehearsals, God put everything together. He sent Kawan Sultan in, Danny Johnson, Ibzane Cummings, and Anthony Goodwin, and also Dave James, and we all just came together and just. I tell you, this process has taught me patience, and really dealing with a lot of different personalities. A lot of different personalities. I tend to get frustrated, when things don't go right the first time around, and there were a lot of learning curves. I'll give you a prime example. So we recorded guitar again in the studio, and we didn't catch the feedback that was in the there was a lot of buzzing going on in the guitar. So we got ready to release the single Unstoppable God, and we had to put everything on hold and go back in the studio and re-record guitar. So me, at first I was like, dang, I messed up. You know what I'm saying? It should have been done right the first time. And Bishop had to say, no, it's all right. This is learning for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You never did this before, so this is a learning curve. Take it as that, and let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the blessing of being under leadership that understands where you're going. Because I think even as producers, pastors, we have to be able to have vision beyond the storm.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And when you produce a man, you have to babysit that project and you have to deal with the different nuances and all the different attitudes. So for you guys to be able to pull that together to this magnitude and the quality, it speaks volumes of what you guys are doing, man. So, big kudos. Let me ask you first, Bishop, and I asked it wrong. What's your favorite song on the project, Bishop?
Yeah, that one is my favorite.
Which one? Unstoppable God?
Huh?
The Unstoppable God song?
Huh?
The Unstoppable God song?
I heard you first time you said it.
I know you did.
Ain't gonna draw me in there, bro.
I'm trying to get you to commit to one of them, Bishop.
Nah, you ain't gonna draw me into that.
Deron, how about you? You know what song you better say.
What song I better say? I love every song. I love every song on the album.
No. Follow your big brother. What's your favorite song, man of God?
My favorite song on the album is "Worship the King, Alive to Worship."
There you go. There you go.
God is a good God.
No. Your favorite song is what now?
Track 3, The Exaltation.
I'm gonna tell you that. Even that, Jovita.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. Let me tell you something. I was listening to that thing in my car the other night. I was bent over in my driver, like, oh God, I praise you.
Yes, sir.
She took me right in, and it was
Pastor
like,
Jensen. Let me tell you this. Bishop said, and Andrew said it, and he said, if you better not listen to track 3 while you're driving.
Let me tell you, I had to pull
I
over.
had the nerve to be driving because I forgot that it was next after Alive to Worship.
Ooh,
so
no.
I'm driving, and all of a sudden the tears just start flowing in the car, Doc. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Now, how did y'all get Glenn Gibson to commit to singing on? Because a lot of people know Glenn for playing, but Glenn can really sing, man. He's like really dope.
Yeah, so you know, Glenn is my brother. I've been a part of his life since he was like 13. So we were thinking when Bishop first presented the song, he presented it at least 3 different ways. But the third way was the way that we went. And the third way was the sound that he was actually looking for when we
You wrote that song, Bishop?
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
So by the time we got to rehearsal, originally there was no lead. I called Bishop and I was like, Bishop, what do you think about Glenn singing the lead on Unstoppable God? And I gave him the reference of PJ Morton.
Mm.
And he said, that sounds like a good idea. I said, I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna reach out to him, see if he can make it. I reached out to Glenn. I said, yo, can you make a rehearsal? We was having rehearsal on Tuesday. He said, yeah, bro, I could do it. And now he came in the first rehearsal and blazed the whole joint.
Yeah, because when I tried to get Glenn on the song, let me tell you what he told me. He said you got to get a bowl of M&M peanuts. And you got to pick out all the yellow M&M peanuts. He said, I'm not eating no other color. I had to have no AC on when he got up to sing. Doc, Glenn gave me a whole list. I said, I'm going to come back to you. He gave me a rider, Doc. I said, Gibson, are you serious? Nah, big shout out to Glenn. That's my other little bro. He's doing phenomenal. He's a phenom all by himself, man. But it's great because now, how did y'all get Melanie Daniels on the project? Because she wasn't at the live recording, or was she?
No, she wasn't there. All right,
that
so
was a good choice, Deron.
So we weren't really in debate. We knew we wanted Judith Christy McAllister.
Okay.
But things got crossed up, so she wasn't able to do it. I was at an event with my pops doing sound.
Okay.
For Marlon Boykins. and she was there singing.
Mm.
And when I heard her sing, I said, boom,
That's
right
it.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, right here. This is it right here. This is it. So I asked her. She was like, sure, cousin, no problem. She said, no problem. I'll connect you with my management and we'll make sure everything is good, blah, blah. I think like 2 weeks later, she was available. She was actually, working with Israel at the time. And she was available this one particular day. And we locked it in. She came, Doc, when I tell you she came in there, and it was just amazing seeing her work
Yeah.
ethic, and like how she
Yeah.
puts everything together.
Mm-hmm.
By the time she finished the last note, Doc, I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely it.
Yeah, big shout out to Melanie Daniels. She's one of the greatest in our city. Let's shift a little bit, y'all, because I want to talk to you guys about how you plan on navigating, especially you, Bishop, with the new laws that are in place as far as this vaccine passport and all that. Because I went to a very prominent restaurant today in Brooklyn. And as soon as I walked to the door, they said, "Yo, where's your passport?" And if you weren't able to produce it, you couldn't get in to eat. What do y'all feel about what's happening, man?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I just got a notice. I teach high school, middle school at Eagle Academy in the Bronx, and we just got a notice that they want us to be vaccinated, or they're going to test you 2 to 3 times a week.
Wow.
And they're going to need a way to, if a student has COVID, how will they be learning? Will they still be at the school? And so it's a lot of things that we have to, be able to maneuver around it, like we have already with the last 2 years. But I believe they have our best interests, at heart. But we are, dealing with some civil issues, because in America, we have the right not to take the vaccine if we don't want to. And it should not be any undue process. You shouldn't feel overwhelmed or under duress because you choose not to.
Exactly.
And so that's that's what's going on here in New
Are
York.
you teach at Eagle Academy on 173rd?
No, in the Bronx on 3rd Avenue.
On 3rd Avenue, yeah, it's like on 3rd and what? Because I used to teach there like a year and a half ago. I was doing at Eagle Academy. I was doing a drum program after school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep, right on 3rd Avenue, not too far from Bishop Shelver's Green Church.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I've been there for 3 years. This is my 3rd year.
I don't know how I never saw you in the building.
Oh, because when the bell ring, I get out of there. That's why. I'm not in the after school program, brother. I'm getting out of there.
I hear you. And I'm telling you, man, it was interesting to have those little guys. It's an all male school. To have those guys teaching them. I'm gonna send you some clips of my class, Bishop. It's hilarious.
I probably know who they are. I'm sure.
Yeah, little guys, something else, man. But yeah, so it's for me. I told my church Sunday, I as a pastor, I'm not going to tell you not to take it or to take it.
Right.
Because I think you should have that choice. But I am going to tell you that you should be smart. You should definitely social distance, keep your mask on, and take a lot of vitamins. Stay on a consistent vitamin regimen. That's what my doctor told me. My doctor told me, if you stay on a healthy vitamin regimen and do things like ginger shots and stuff like that, you're actually taking the vaccine every day, because the vaccine allegedly just is building your immune system up. It's not keeping you from getting COVID, but it's keeping you from getting really sick if you do catch it. Because I know a lot of people that got both shots, Bishop, and they still caught COVID.
Yeah.
So, and now, my biggest problem is when everybody first took it, they said it was good for a year. Now, all of a sudden, it only lasts 3 months. Now you got to come back and get a booster shot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, Bishop. So
one day at a time, you know.
yeah.
You know, my New Day, we really haven't closed. When, you know, a few members had it, then we closed down for a week or two and we opened right back up. But my Baptist church, where we have you know, older saints there,
Yeah.
we haven't opened since March. We're opening the second Sunday in September. We've been
Oh, wow.
out since March of the year before, so we've been out since the beginning.
Wow. Now how and your church, the Baptist church, now how is that working out? Because you're pastoring 2 churches now. How
Yeah.
and you getting more degrees than a thermometer.
That's
Still
right.
in school, teaching, pastoring 2 churches. How are you doing all this, Bishop?
Well, of course, I got, you know, good people, Deron, because this was Deron's idea for this album. He said it's been 7 years since you did an album. But I'm like, well, we have to do it together. But I was working on my master's degree, like you said, you know, pastoring 2 churches and teaching, working full time. So I didn't have it on my plate, you know, to do that.
Right.
So I really took on the role this time as the executive, which means we mentioned that before, that I'm really responsible for the outcome of the album. And I look back at my last 2 projects and I saw things that were wrong, and I should have been the one that heard that and made that correction. That's why on this one, when the single came out, when we heard that scratching, you know, they were saying, you know, let's release it with the scratching. I was like, no, we're not going to release it with the scratching.
That's right.
And we lost momentum on that, lost money. But I'd rather, you know, lose that momentum and money than to mess with my name again, because my name is associated with this project.
Absolutely.
So you want excellence.
Yeah.
So I said, let's hold it back. So it was a lot of people saying, oh, where is the project? It's supposed to have been out today. It was like, I ain't got it. And I'm not, you know, Beyonce. Beyonce can say, well, I changed the date. And the crowd is still there for her.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not Beyonce. So when I changed the date, I lost the crowd.
Yeah.
But I think we got it back now.
I think so too. And that just goes to show, you know, the growth in you as somebody that's doing independent music, because, you know, for years in this city, what I heard was just people recording and putting it out. They wasn't doing overdubs. They wasn't mixing right. And I'll tell you something, Bishop, my very first album, Let Your Mercies.
Yes.
That album is nothing but 2 tracks of every song from the night I recorded it. And back then we were using a software called Reasons. And I went into Reasons and I leveled everything. That was mixing to me back then. Nothing was spread out. I didn't separate nothing. It was what we recorded that night. Vocally, I just blended it and put it through something called, there was a plugin called the loudness maximizer, which gave it the effect of being mastered. I would run it through that and I put the record out. And I'm telling you, I listen to it now and it sends chills up my spine. Like, how could I do that? But people to this day are still buying that record.
That Let Your Mercies, you know, my former wife, Pastor Tawana Sloane, that was one of her favorite songs.
Man.
And over again, Let Your Mercies. I think she liked the red, because red was her favorite color. And you with the red hat, the red jacket. But I let it slide. You want to like it. But it was the whole thing that was going on. That B-boy. And
don't you start that, Bishop. Don't you?
Let Your Mercies going on. So I'm like, hey, play your song.
Go ahead. Put the record on.
Right.
But Bishop, man, that was crazy, man. And I gotta publicly thank you for taking it all the way back to 2004, man. You and your wife at the time were major supporters. I remember coming to your church to do concerts and all that. And we've been in fellowship ever since. And I don't recall me and you ever having an issue, ever having a problem, except for when you kicked me off the record, then put me back on the record.
But I got you back on, Doc.
I said, now hold on, Sloane. I didn't call you Bishop. I said, now, what you mean, Sloane? But I got to tell you, you doing that, first of all, how did y'all capture that? Because that wasn't even a recording.
Exactly. And Well, if you think about it, when I said to Deron, if we're gonna do a worship and praise album, that's not my lane. And my former bishop, William Hudson, said that if it's not your strength, you have to, purchase your weakness and strengthen
Wow.
your weakness. So I'm not a worship and praise. I'm traditional gospel. You know that
Yeah.
from Timothy Wright and all of that. So I said, I got to get somebody strong to create that, add that ambiance. And it was Jovita Shepherd. I said, if we're going to do this, we have to have Jovita Shepherd.
Yeah.
She wasn't available one night. I said, well, then Deron, we got to do it later when she
Right.
is available, because I felt like the Lord was saying to me that Jovita had to be there.
That's what she does.
And that's what she does. That's
all
her
day.
lane. And we had other names because Deron know everybody. I was like, it's Jovita Shepherd is the one. And you see what happened. And that's just a window, because she sang somebody else's, song. And we didn't want to get into that, the business side of that. So we just took a window of it, and it was unbelievable.
Yeah, she's deep fried in that thing, man. I mean, seriously. She was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I just let her talk, man. She was just schooling, just taking me to school. I'm like, Jesus, this girl is something else, man.
Yeah.
So what's next, Bishop? What you got coming up next?
So crazy is that Sunday in worship, we wrote a song. Unstoppable God was written right during Sunday morning worship.
That's kind. I love those moments.
Right. And so we just did this other piece on Sunday, and it was crazy. So we're looking for studio time to go back in the studio to take that moment from this past Sunday.
That bug done bit you, Bishop. You got it bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be in the studio, but they'll let me know how it works out.
Now, do you go to the sessions? Do you go to the studio at all?
Well, this time I was on the phone. I was in the studio maybe 3 times tops.
Do you like studio work or nah?
Yeah, I don't mind the studio work. But my schedule just wouldn't allow it. This time with everything that was going on. So I was on the phone with Deron at the beginning and the end of the session. We really mapped it out. So we knew what we was doing when we was going in. We knew how many hours it would take. And Deron is the type of guy that if you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
But if you're early, you're on time.
That's right. And so being late is never acceptable.
Right. So that helps the budget when you know you getting 5 hours that night. 5 hours.
Yeah. Especially if y'all cutting at the Levite room with Terrence.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you something. Terrence do not play. If Terrence says the session starts at 12 o'clock, he's charging you. Whether your singers are there, whether your band is there, Terrence do not care. He's like, hi, Doc.
I learned that on one of the other albums we was doing when we was talking, and he was like, all right, we 30 minutes in. I was like, I thought we was talking.
Oh, no.
That's my time I was talking on. I
stopped talking
after that.
Terrence, and he'll talk to you for an hour if you let him. Let me tell you something, Bishop. I'm producing a soundtrack for this movie, right? And we cut at Terrence. And the last song we did, I'm sitting there and me and Terrence is cracking up. We going back and forth telling jokes. And the Holy Ghost said, shut your mouth. I said, what happened? He said, this man is still charging you. You were laughing, but he didn't bounce down this track yet. He didn't. This man is still, I shut my mouth like this the whole session. I was like, because Terrence is something else. He's going to laugh and joke, but he's going to keep that clock running.
I high five Terrence and let's start. Where we at?
That's right.
I'll talk to you later outside.
I'll tell you, once we hit that stop clock, then we can laugh and joke. Right. I have nothing to say to you, Terrence. Nothing.
I learned the first time around.
Big shout out to Terrence and the Levite room.
Yeah.
Great place to record. I do most, if not all, of my live instrumentation there since Let God Arise. That's how long I've been rocking with Terrence, man. He's been my recording engineer for that long. And I think that's important, Bishop. And I want to, everybody that comes on the show, I play a game with them called Word Association. So I want to play it with you now. So the way it works is I say something and you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Darryl Hill is the best at this. He was great on this show. So,
Darryl Hill, he did good. Bishop Hill did good when he came on.
He did.
But let's see how you do. Loyalty.
Leadership.
Education.
Continuous.
Prophetic phrases.
Dorial N.
Good music.
Feeling.
You were supposed to say worship the King, Bishop.
Ah.
I was trying to throw you alley-oop right there.
All right.
Great preaching.
Noel Jones.
Yeah. Avid readers.
Cone.
Last one. Sensitivity.
Feeling.
All right, Bishop, you made it through.
I made it through.
I kept it.
Question me on the prophetic though. All right.
I was gonna get you on that prophetic. I said, let me leave that alone. Let me leave that alone.
The Dorial Inn is where I met Bishop Bernard Jordan.
Wow.
That was when I was working at the district attorney's office, and that was my real first introduction to prophetic at that level. And it was crazy for me. We've been friends at, certainly the last 20 years, but that was my first experience with Bishop Jordan. I come from the Sanctified Church. We only had one prophet, and we didn't like him when he came around.
That's right. Ours was Evangelist Ruth Harper. She was from West Virginia. And when she came to town, we all lived saved.
Exactly. You asked God, I would say, Lord, forgive me for my sins of omission and commission, because I wanted to make sure I was clean when they came.
I had to take 7 days off, no sinning, no cussing, no drinking, no sex, nothing. I said, I told all my girlfriends, leave me alone, don't talk to me. I didn't want to hang out with nobody, because back then, Ruth Harper and your prophet was probably the same way. She'll walk by you and say, I smell sin on you.
Yes. You're not living right. Come up. You got to
come up and have you at the altar. Let them purge it. Let them purge it. Come on.
I got the Holy Ghost at least 3 times.
Me too. I think I got about 7.
Because they had the council of mothers who had to go in the corner to decide if you
had it or not,
or you made it over.
They be like, you ain't got it. Come back again tomorrow night.
Come back again.
Man, but you know what, Bishop? I wouldn't trade how we grew up for nothing, man. Because I look at what's out here now, and I'm not taking shots at the new generation, nothing like that, but it's just different, man. It's different. It's different. And I thank God for those days. And I thank God we ain't got to tarry. Because you know what? I never liked when we were purged. And they get them big piles of paper towel and put it under the people, and they be spitting. I be like, I don't like that part. I don't want God to purge me. I don't want to be spitting up. You throwing up without throwing up.
Yes, sir.
They put all that paper towel under you. I'm like, no.
Now, really, I wanted to get saved because you couldn't play the instruments without being saved.
Yes, you couldn't do it.
You couldn't do nothing without being saved. So I'm like,
couldn't do it
saved so I could play.
Yeah, because Bishop Lindsay didn't play that. He said, he'll say, son, are you still filled? I said, yes, sir, Bishop. He said, all right, I'm watching you. But I promise you, when Ruth Harper was the first person I ever saw cast a demon out. Yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a girl in our church by the name of Bernadette. And Bernadette, back then, now all the deacons in the church are skinny guys. Back when we were growing up, all the deacons had them down south man hands. Yes. Like, this was one of the hands. This was just one of the hands. And it took 5 of them, 5 of the deacons in Glorious to hold Bernadette down. She was throwing them. And I remember Evangelist Harper came in. She said, stop, let her go. Let her go. And she went up to Bernadette and said, Ema, come out. Well, let me not call that demon because he might show up. Right. Ema, don't you come in here. Let me against you, Ema. But she called the demon out by name and was having a whole conversation with him. And she said, back in those days, if the kids was in there, get the kids out the church, open the windows, open the door. She said, don't you open the window. Don't you open the door. Because if you got power, my shanda da ba ba ba. And Doc, she went to fighting with that demon. And back then, you know, demons showed up like snakes and kangaroos.
Right.
And they would bounce around and be crawling on the floor. These new babies got these sophisticated demons. Their demons is from Fifth Avenue. They sit there with their legs crossed and want to talk. No. Back then, our demons was wild animals. They was wild.
We got sophisticated.
Oh God. They wanted to embarrass you and take over the service and just be hopping around screaming. Let me tell you, Bishop, we come a long way, bro.
Our demons.
Oh
my God.
I wouldn't trade it for nothing, though. I promise you. But Bishop, let me tell you something. I just want to thank you again for you just being a conduit for the younger generation and our generation. You started something called the Pearl Awards.
Yeah.
Are you doing it again this year?
We're doing it. I just got off the phone with Corbin and some of the
How's Corbin doing, man?
He's good. He's trying to work his way out of that. But we thank God for total healing for him.
Yes, sir. That's my buddy. We praying for you, Corbin. Praying for you, man.
And so we're working on finalizing that. You know, we've been nominated 5 times and we didn't win yet.
Yeah, me too. I've been nominated once or twice, and I don't understand this. Let me tell you something. I had a whole fight with your staff. Let me finally confess online to Bishop Sloane. Bishop Sloane started the Pearl Awards, y'all. I was so offended. I said, now hold on. Y'all having an award show for independent artists in New York City, and I ain't nominated? I called Corbin. I said, Negro, what's wrong with y'all? And he said, no. He said, no, Pastor. We thought you had a major deal.
Right.
I ain't got no major deal, Doc. I'm out here struggling like all of y'all. How I'm not nominated? Then I got nominated, and I forgot who beat me, but I couldn't believe he beat me either. I said, this is something else. I said, this award show is fixed. It's a fixed fight. But you know what? It was a lesson for me in humility, Bishop. Seriously.
No, but we really thought, because you work so hard.
Yeah.
You go on things with major people. A lot of
people
work with Marvin Sapp, and we talked about it. And the determination was he's major. You are major.
Well, I appreciate that, but I want a Pearl Award.
Yeah,
I'm putting it out there. I will not be major until I have a Pearl Award, and I got a picture like this.
So this is what we talked about. See, because you and Valerie Boyd, we can't have y'all come to a Pearl Award as a nominee and not win. Because I don't know exactly what's going to happen if y'all don't win. Because both of you
this year's going to be a fight. You remember the Source Awards?
Right.
I'm going to turn the Pearl Awards into the Source Awards. I will start throwing chairs.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to cuss in the interview. They said, how you feel about I'm going to start cussing? I'm going to backslide for 30 seconds.
So that's why we're going to have to do something else. So that's what it is. But once you get it, then we can put you on a nominee, but we're going to have to put you in a different class. And
I just want the picture, Bishop. Let me hold yours, because I know you got a Pearl Award, an extra one somewhere. I just want to take the picture and say, look, y'all, I feel like Susan Lucci.
Exactly. That's me. 5 times nominated, no award.
Yeah, no awards. Susan Lucci, I think they just gave her one because they felt sorry for her at the end. They gave her an Emmy because she's been Erica Kane for 50 years since I was a little kid.
And good at it. Yeah.
She was the main. Let me not say that because I don't want nobody to know I used to watch All My Children.
That was my show, General.
Yeah, I used to watch it, but I'm delivered now. I don't know what they got going on that mess now. But she was one of the main reasons why her and Adam Chandler.
Come on now.
And he had a twin. What was his twin's name?
I forgot the twin, the crazy twin. I don't know if I can use
the
that. The
crazy twin.
Yeah.
Bishop, we telling too much now. Let's change.
Right.
But Bishop, man, you did this project, man. Phenomenal job. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. I want to turn on the radio, hear you guys on the radio, because I think it's that good. So anything that I can do to assist you and help you guys get it done, please let me know. And if people want to book you, Bishop, and the praise team, how do they go about doing that?
They can find me on Facebook, Julius A. Sloane, Instagram, Julius A. Sloane. Come by any of the churches. But I realized, I talked to Trayvon Perry, that I think our mold is more like Brooklyn Tabernacle and Mississippi Mass Choir. That they ain't doing no whole lot of traveling.
Yeah.
But we're putting out music.
And you know, and with the world doing what it's doing now, Bishop, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And you can make just as much noise, because really ain't nobody really making no money from album sales no more. Anyway. Right. Unless you like these rapper guys, and a lot of them are paying for these streams, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, the money, you got to get creative and do something else with the music. But, you know, something like doing workshops, you and Juwan fly into a church, train the praise team, do the music, do a big concert. There's a whole different bunch of ways you can get it done. But we're excited to see what you're going to do, Bishop. And I just want to thank you, man, for taking time out your busy schedule. For coming to talk to us. And listen, I want everybody that watches this show right now and everybody that will come on later, if you have not downloaded the new project, which is called what, Bishop?
Worship the King.
Worship the King. It is available on all digital platforms. I'm on it. Melanie Daniels is on it. Bishop Sloane is killing on it. Jovita Shepherd. Man, it is just amazing. The music is superb. The writing is superb, and I'm really proud of Tiffany.
Yeah,
this song that she wrote, amazing,
incredible. All the writers, Janelle Howard wrote "He's a Wonder." She wrote that.
Janelle wrote that song
years ago. Janelle wrote that.
Wow,
years ago.
I love that song. Big shout out to Janelle.
Janelle wrote that, so we really use people who are in the house, and I've been just. PJ Morton is one of my, my favorites last, 7 to 8 years. And I wanted to make sure that the musicians got their fill. If you listen to Unstoppable God and some of those songs, the musicians are really there.
Man, they on it.
Out, man.
They on it. I want to we got about 5 minutes left. I want to open the floor. Let me acknowledge everybody in the audience that's there. Dr. Knight said, hey, Bishop Sloane. Tawanda Blocker is there. It's a couple of other people here. They not saying nothing. But if anybody has any questions for Bishop Sloane, you got about 5 minutes. Let's rock out. I'll go to the Q&A right here. If you want to ask Bishop questions, the floor is yours. But yeah, man. So that's good. Now, my brother, Pastor Elder Reginald Young, is online. What's up, Young? Corbin just signed on.
All right. We just talked about you.
Corbin, we just talked about you, Doc. And we want you to know, man, that we are praying for your total recovery. And I see you in there lifting weights. Don't you come out there all cut up, Corbin. And don't you come out. You make sure you keep your shirt on.
My nickname for him is the Big Sexy.
Yeah. I saw that. I said, now, I don't want to see Corbin online without no shirt on. I don't care how much muscles you get, Corbin. You stay covered. You come up in the Holy Ghost. Pastor Stephanie Green is on here all the way from Houston, Texas. Bless you, woman of God. Crystal Sauls, one of my partners, all the way from Virginia. Bless you, Chris. Listen, I want to make sure, Green, everybody, make sure you get Worship the King. Download it right now. I'm telling you, any type of music you think you love. If you love hip hop, you love old school church, praise and worship. It's an element of all that stuff. R&B. It's all mixed up in this project. It's like a jambalaya, a gumbo of just great music. So make sure you go get it. Corbin, talking about it's my new season. The blood be against you, Corbin. You're gonna keep your shirt on.
No, actually, at the Pearl Awards this year, he's gonna rip his shirt off so we can get our numbers up.
Corbin, don't you do it. Don't you let Bishop Sloane trick you. Don't you let him trick you, Corbin. You stay covered. You are holy. You are a holy man of God. Hallelujah. Bless you, Pastor Green. We thank you for tuning in. But Bishop, while people, if there's anybody that have any questions, what advice would you give young pastors? Because you're doing it almost 30 years now. what advice would you give to young pastors that want to do? Because one thing I love about you, Bishop, is you don't just do church. You actually work. You have your hand in a bunch of other stuff. What advice would you give to up and coming pastors that are trying to sustain themselves post pandemic?
Yeah, I know it's a cliche, but I think you want to, first of all, you want to, find accountability, find somebody who can cover you, that you can talk to and be really real with, really transparent and really open with them. Because a lot of mistakes that I made, I think if I was a little bit more comfortable with my leaders, it could have been better for me. And so I think as a young pastor, you want to, find somebody that you can talk to, because it get rough out here. No matter how ugly you are, you get beautiful because of the anointing that's on you when you get in that pulpit.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of things that's coming at you that are not yours. But you want to avoid as much as that as you can, and it'll help having a good covering.
Yeah. And I'll just piggyback with Bishop. One of the greatest things I've learned is the seed to longevity is honor.
Yeah.
When you honor those that have gone before you, when you honor those that are doing what you want to do, God creates longevity in what you're doing. And, I look at us, Bishop, you've been out here 30 years. I've been doing this over about 25 years now. I'm talking about, I started out playing for Jeffrey Kynes in the Worldwide Crusade Choir.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And traveling, my first engagement out of town was to Plattsburgh, New York, with Dr. Conyers. And to look how God has taken us and allowed us to minister all over the world and just travel and just impact. A lot of people don't know Bishop Sloane used to sing with Timothy Wright.
That's right.
When you heard that high voice on the record, that was him.
10 years I was with. I didn't have 10 years.
10 years. I said, who is that with that high voice? And come to find out, it was you.
Yeah, I was faithful. Whatever I'm in, I'm faithful. I did, I was 18 years with Pilgrim.
Wow.
Before that, I was 20 years with my Bishop Waterman. And now I'm back with Bishop Waterman again.
Wow.
After the Lord called Bishop Brown home.
Yeah.
They allowed me to come back to help Bishop Waterman, who's about 83 now.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And but loyalty is so important, and commitment, because what you make happen for somebody else, the Lord will make happen for you.
Wow. Sean Higgs said, Julius Sloane is the reason I got a name for worship and praise. He actually started my career in New York.
I'll take credit for that.
The only Higgs I know is Derek Higgs. Is that you, Derek? Sean Higgs.
Oh, Derek, that's Derek. Oh, okay.
Is that Derek?
Yeah. He came with somebody else.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
I love him no matter what goes on. I loved him since I first met him at Pilgrim Brownsville, and I just committed myself to him. My love is real, man. If I love you all the way. I'm riding.
And let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this publicly. Derek Higgs, hands down, is one of the coldest praise and worship leaders ever. He used to sing. I used to love to hear Derek sing this song. Sing unto the Lord a new song. Woo! Yeah. He would murk that song so bad, man.
Yeah, I love everything. I used to just love him running around. I think it was a Pilgrim thing. Stanley Brown used to do it. Like, he just be everywhere. And Derek was like that at Pilgrim, just doing everything. And red coat, worship and praise, helping in the back. And I always loved that movie.
Yeah,
that he would make.
Yeah. He's a great singer, phenomenal singer, man. Phenomenal singer. So, man, Bishop, we got to make sure that I really want to see this album go #1, man. I really want to see this album hit the charts. So we're gonna do what we can do. because I really think it's time for us to get outside of the norm and really normalize supporting one another for real.
Yeah.
With no hidden agendas, nothing coming back, you know what I mean? Other than a harvest from the seed that you sow, being
Absolutely.
intentional about somebody else's success as much as you are about yours.
Yes.
That's what I think we need to start normalizing in our circles and what we do and what we call the church. You know what I mean? I think that we really got to do that because for so long we've seen people act like they support, act like they love, act like they for you, and it's a whole other thing. And I just think that that's corny. I think it's played out. I'd rather know up front, are you my boy? You my people, you support me or not? Because I'm the type that, you know, as soon as I got the album, I started promoting it. I didn't wait for none of y'all to ask me to do it. You my brother. So Sloane got a project out, and I would do it whether I was on it or not. But the fact that I'm on it is gonna make me push even harder. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah to God.
I'm not finished. We got to at least do a video. I'm thinking about if we don't do a live one, I want us to be like characters like the old Michael Jackson cartoon.
Yeah, we got to do something, man.
We got to do something with that video.
Because now, who did you hear growing up that did that slow singing that you did?
That's quartet, man. That's classic Dixie Hummingbirds.
Ooh,
See, WWRL, when they started, it was quartet. I watched the transition from quartet to choir to now whatever they was doing before RL went off. But it was, I watched them play Dixie Hummingbirds and then James Cleveland. Like you heard those dynamics.
Yeah.
That's all that is. It's classic.
He was like, oh, I said, yeah. I said, Bishop, you are killing right now, man.
And I watched it. We played it. The kids was doing a dance to it. And we had some of the old members of Institutional and all of them was at our church. And I watched them react to that song. They loved it, man. I forgot what the kids was dancing to. They're going to have to do the dance again. Because I'm watching the reaction of the people to the music.
Yeah.
And they were all over it, man.
It's crazy. And I love that part when you go, yes, he is that man. I said,
Doc, you killed yours too now, Doc.
No, but you know what they call that in quartet? They call that the hump.
Oh yeah, you wrote it, Doc.
Doc, you. I said this guy right here, and I love the part when you said, "Come here, Jason." I act like Brown on the movie. I was like, "Who me?" I was like, who me?
Yes,
in my mind, while you were singing before you called me, I said, if he just give me a little piece of this,
yes, I would tear it up.
And you came on through and gave it to me, man. But I love that you are not selfish with your platform. So, man, I appreciate you, Bishop, man, and I really want to see you guys win with this because I think this project is really something special, and we're gonna pray that God really just blows on it, man, and just sees it all over the country, all over the radio. And you really gotta, whoever's gonna service radio for you, Bishop, you guys gotta push to get on XM radio.
XM, okay.
If you can get something on XM, it's a game changer.
Wow.
It's a game changer. Because what happens, there's a DJ pool of where all the radio personalities and the DJs that work with them, they actually pull the music from this pool. Wow. So whoever is working your music, you need to make sure that your music is encoded in a digital format so that they can get into this pool, because that's where they pull all the new music from. And, you know, I had to connect. It was a lady by the name of Pat McKay. She was the program director for all of XM Gospel, but she got sick. She's not there no more. So I don't know who's up there. If Pat was still there, it would just be a phone call. You know what I mean? But, you know, big shout out to Mark Jackson and Desiree Coleman. They plugged me with Pat. When I was producing Desiree's project, she said, oh, I want to connect you. You know how Des talk. I want to connect you with a friend. And Pat, she just fell in love with me, man. And we're praying, if Pat is watching, because I know she follows me, Pat, we praying that God just heals you, that God
Yes.
gives you recovery, because you are so needed to the gospel industry for independent artists. Because she reminds me of Timothy Wright. Timothy Wright,
Yeah.
when he died, man, that thing broke my heart, because
Yeah.
he was, I'm gonna just say it, he was the only major artist that gave the type of opportunities that he did to everybody.
That's
I
right.
mean, he didn't have favoritism. If you could sing, you could write, you could play, come on, get on.
Got you
Get
on.
on.
I
You
mean,
know?
most of the people, my circle was small. My little apostolic fire baptized circle was small, but through Timothy Wright, I met most of the people who I
Yeah.
know in the industry, certainly, through my relationship with Elder Timothy Wright. This year was the Bishop's 30th wedding anniversary. Bishop Full Effect. Bishop
Archie
McGinnis.
McGinnis, Bishop McGinnis, yes.
Archie McGinnis. Do you know I sang at their wedding?
Wow. Wow.
Fire at their wedding.
And
And I passed the mic to Cynthia, and Archie never forgave me.
because I know what she did. I know
Right.
what
You
she
know
did.
she brought it all home.
I know she did, because she don't know how to act. But big
Right.
shout out to Bishop McGinnis, and they're doing some great things. And we want you, Bishop, please pray for us, because we about to drop our new record. We finally got it done, and I got a new song. I know it's gonna bless the world, man. It's called My Longing.
Ah.
And we're about to shoot the video for it and everything, man. So just pray for us, and we definitely going to keep praying for you, Bishop. And anytime you want to promote anything, Bishop, you have an open door here at Kingdom Conversations.
Thank you so much, man, for the opportunity. You know you got my support 100%.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to show some love to my big brother, Bishop Julius Sloane, the preaching, singing machine himself. Nobody does it better than Bishop Julius Sloane. We love you, Bishop. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
All
you.
right, we'll talk. That was Bishop Julius Sloane, everybody, here on Kingdom Conversation. And thank God for all the great people that checked in. Crystal Saul, Juan Garcia. Man, listen, Juan, I got something for you, brother. DJ Fresh, I got a joint that me and Courtney wrote together called HG Party. You're going to have so much fun with this one, brother. I promise you. But we're going to get it to y'all. Y'all just continue to pray for us. Thank you to Derek, Stephanie Green, Crystal Sauls, everybody that came and dropped in. Everybody that's going to watch this later. We want you to please be safe out there. And I was talking about earlier, guys, they have really started this checking for your vaccine passport when you want to go into restaurants. So y'all guys got to make decisions. You got to make decisions. Again, as a pastor, I'm telling you to do what it is you need to do for you. I don't believe in telling people to get the vaccine, don't get it. Wherever your faith level is at, that's where it's at. You know, I think that you have to do what you need to do, because this is still a democracy. You know, I don't like how they are trying to, you know, preview what it's going to be like to have this country under martial law, because that's what I really think they're trying to do, to see what our response would be on a mass level. But we want you guys to just really be prayerful, and above all, stay safe. You and your family stay safe, and get to know God for you. If I could leave you guys with anything, get to know God for yourself. I am not one of those leaders that believe your destiny is locked up in my loins and all that crazy stuff. No, get to know God for yourself. Develop a relationship with God for you. And I believe that He and His infinite wisdom will lead and guide you into all truth. So this has been amazing. Another show in the bucket. And we have something major getting ready to come up that we're going to be announcing once everything gets locked in. And yeah, Crystal, that's the thing. We have to know God for ourselves, because there's three voices you're going to hear in your life: yours, the enemy, and God's. And you have to figure out who's who and what's what. And you got to know God's voice. and know that he's only going to lead you into victory and the truth. And sometimes the process that you have to go there and get there by may not always be enjoyable, but it would always be profitable when it's God. So please remember that and get to know God. And above all, love God. Be kind to one another. And remember that love can cure more sin than condemnation. So I love you guys. Thank you for coming by Kingdom Conversation. And I want you to join us next Monday. I'll tell you who our guest will be a little bit later on this week. And I believe that God's going to do something. And above all, remember, no one can stop you from being what you've been created and called to be at this moment right now, but you. I believe in you. I'm praying for you. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
You